With all the news going around about real estate agents and the real estate industry, you might be wondering, do I need a real estate professional to buy or sell a house? Is it something that is necessary? My name is Cody Smith. I am a licensed real estate advisor and I am a member of the National Association of Realtors. And my answer to that question may surprise you, so stick around. So the question remains, do I really need a real estate agent to buy or sell a house? Okay, my business is built on honesty and transparency, and I'm going to tell you, no, you do not have to have a real estate professional to help you buy or sell a house, okay? From a 30,000 foot view, the process is actually pretty simple, okay? You get some documents signed, you go through a negotiation with the seller, you take those formal documents and you send them off to the appropriate parties like an attorney or a title company and the lender. They do their back end work to make sure that everything is solid. Inspections happen, appraisals happen. If those things go well, you get a conditional approval. The lender says, hey, you can buy this house. You're clear to close. You go to the closing and you sign some paperwork and boom, you own the property, okay? It can be a very simple process, and there are people in this industry that do this on their own every single day without the help of a professional. But the question remains, do you have enough expertise and knowledge in the real estate industry to do this on your own? Do you need a professional? So let's discuss a topic that is a little more close to home for the everyday consumer. So we all just about have cars that we drive around every single day. Everywhere that you go, you got a car, okay? And you know a lot about vehicles. You know how to buy a vehicle. You've probably bought several in your lifetime. You drive around in a car every single day. Okay, so you know a little bit about what it feels like to own a car and what the process looks like every day to be in a car. Now, if something happens to that vehicle and it breaks down, you've got a couple different options that you can approach to try to fix it. So like if my truck breaks down, I can go on the internet, I can do some research, I can try to figure out what's wrong with it and diagnose the problem. I can order a part, I can try to do the repair, watch some YouTube videos. I'll probably struggle through the process a little bit, but I might be successful at it and I might make my way to the end and have completed that repair on my own, okay? Or it might take me 3 times as long. I may screw it up and I may need to take it to a professional anyways, all right? But why would I even try to do this process on my own? If I can take this to a dealership up the street and they'll have it to me just a couple hours later and I don't have to deal with any of the headache of the process, why would I take 3 times as long to do it when I could have someone else do it for me? To save money, okay? Of course, the only reason that I would take on such a project that I don't know what I'm doing would be to save money, okay? I cannot argue with you that the prices of repairs and mechanics and dealerships and things like that can be astronomical these days, and I understand why you would want to save money, okay? But is it worth the extra time and effort and the potential problems that I may cause on my own unknowingly to waive hiring a professional and attempt to do this on my own? This is the same exact process that we are talking about when we talk about buying or selling real estate, okay? Did you know that the average homeowner only sells a house every 7 to 9 years, which means you're only going to be involved in this home buying or selling process potentially once every decade, okay? It is virtually impossible for anyone to become an expert and be familiar with this process when they're doing something one time per 10 years, okay? So we have to keep that in mind. The problem with real estate is that if something goes wrong, it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars out of your pocket, and there may be nothing that you can do about it, okay? If you hire a mechanic to fix your car or you try to fix it on your own, you're talking a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000 for your vehicle. But with a home, if you screw something up, it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars and years of pain and headache that you cannot get rid of. So this brings us to the number one reason why hiring a real estate professional may be best for you is because of our experience and our expertise, all right? If I take my truck to a dealership, I hire a mechanic because that mechanic has seen this problem with my truck 3, 4, 5 different ways, and they understand 3 and 4, 5 different solutions to fix that problem. They've seen it time and time again. They're comfortable with it, okay? The same thing applies with a real estate transaction. You're going through an inspection, okay? Something huge comes up in that inspection that you've never seen seen before, and you don't have representation to explain to you whether that is or is not a deal-breaking problem, okay? Those are the issues that we face when we don't have professional representation. In a real estate transaction, one of the very first things that you do is get a property under contract and negotiate the deal itself, okay? In the state of Georgia, the purchase and sale agreement for a real estate transaction is 9 pages long, okay? It is an extremely long document. It has a ton of words. It's like 7-point font. It is ridiculous, all right? In that contract, you've got things like legal descriptions, details of the deal that you're getting yourself into. You've got special stipulations, due diligence, inspections, exhibits, and initials that are required to make it a legally binding document. You have a ton of different things that you have to fill out correctly, and that right there is the legally binding document. Goes to the attorney, goes to the lender. That is what spells out the details of a deal. So whatever in that contract is what's going to happen unless an exhibit or something is put into a place later to make some changes to it, all right? But if you are not familiar with the details of this contract, you could very easily get a counter offer from, say, another agent who's on the opposite side of this transaction that includes little details and specifics that you don't understand to look for because you're not used to reading the contract. Now, if you get under a legally binding document with someone and there are things in it that you don't realize you're legally responsible for, you could seriously find yourself in a decades-long, tens of thousands of dollars worth of problem that you did not even know was there because you weren't familiar with the contract. So this is where a professional comes in. If you hire a professional that represents you and is filling out that paperwork for you, that real estate advisor or agent is going to know that contract up and down, front and back. They're going to know every single part about it. If you hire the right person, they should be able to explain every part of that contract to you, and they know what to look for. Another huge part of this discussion is negotiating the deal. Okay, right from the start, there are little things that a real estate professional is going to know what you should and shouldn't ask for to make sure that you're getting the best out of a deal. All right, a big part of the negotiation is how do I structure an offer so that I'm making sure that I am presenting something that's fair to a seller, but I'm also asking for something in return for myself to make sure that we're setting this up to win for every party. Okay, as a real estate professional, I'm going to know how to structure that, and I'm going to know probably what you can and can't get away with in terms of negotiating that contract because I've seen it before. So if you're asking for something that's absolutely ridiculous, I'm going to be able to tell you that I don't think the seller is going to like that, and you might end up frustrating somebody and ruining the deal, because you offend someone to begin with, versus approaching it in a much more conservative fashion, or just understanding how you can twist and turn that deal to make sure it's in your favor. If you don't understand how to set up this process right from the beginning, you could be setting yourself up for failure before you even start. So having that professional is extremely important. For whatever reason, people think that navigating a real estate transaction is something that's extremely simple that we can just do on our own. Oh, we don't need real estate agents. Oh, we don't have to have representation in this process. But we have to realize that buying and selling a house is one of the largest transactions that most Americans are going to do throughout their entire lifetime. So if you want to make sure that's done correctly, you need to have experienced representation that's going to make sure that you're getting everything that you want out of the deal and that you're protected. Ultimately, you are the person that has to live in and deal with this house every single day for as long as you live there. And if it's done incorrectly, you could be in that house for a decade or longer dealing with a problem that you can't get yourself out of. As we're moving forward, you're probably going to hear a lot of people say that you don't need real estate representation and you don't need to hire somebody to help you through the process. As you're thinking about that, I want you to think about that car that you drive every day. And if that car broke down and it needed some major repair, would you try to navigate that process on your own without seeking and paying for the expertise of an expert to help you through that process? I'm sure most of us probably would not, and we would pay for the professional to help us. If you don't feel comfortable making a simple repair on a car that you drive every day by yourself, then why would we ever think that we could take one of the biggest transactions of our lives potentially and navigate that process on our own? It doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, hiring representation costs money, but we are entering a time where you are able to choose who you hire and you are able to choose who you pay to represent you, okay? And you need to do your research and make sure that you are finding people that have your best interest in mind. If you seek out the cheapest option for your vehicle repair, your home renovation, or your home repair, you're probably going to get that same level of service back when you try to get that repair completed. If you instead decide to do your research and make sure that you choose the best option possible, then you're going to get that same option yourself, okay? If you're going to do your research and find somebody that's going to be the best representation for you and take your job and investment very seriously, then you're going to get that same thing that you pay for. It's going to work out in your favor, but you got to realize that cheaper is not always better. So that's all I had to say for today. If you found this information helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you are someone that's interested in buying homes, investing in real estate, or just growing yourself and your family, consider joining our channel. Consider following us on our social media pages. We are called The Young and Invested. My wife and I are building a community of people who are interested in growing through real estate. We want to change the lives of millennials all across the world to make sure that we are the most wealthy generation in the history of this country. So if that's something that you're interested in, you want to change the future of your family, visit us at TheYoungAndInvested.com for more information, where we have blogs, we have other videos, we have other ways to connect with us. We have events coming up in the future, meetups coming up in the future, and we cannot wait to see each and every one of you, and we cannot wait to grow with you. Follow us and subscribe for more information like this. Changing your future starts today. I'll see you later.